Welcome to the channel, it's Kay, and this is Pumpkin Guy. And today he's helping me feature Sylvanclaw's Forgotten collection. So what we have in here is the 7-piece collection, but we also have something special because I partnered up with Sylvanclaw and they're gifting one lucky winner the entire Forgotten collection. So if you want a chance to win that, just stay tuned during the swatch session and I will make sure to give out those instructions. Now, Sylvanclaw, they sent this collection over to me as PR, and they're a vegan brand. They're cruelty-free, and they're also free of several of the potentially toxic, ugly, nasty ingredients that could be found in nail polish. So with that said, let's get to digging and picking and swatching and giving away, and then we'll meet up for the good, the bad, and the prugly. Kicking off this haunted abandoned house tour is Bat. Get your flashlight out and let's explore, walk through, and also talk about the details of this abandoned place as we walk up the ivy-covered steps towards that front door. We realize we're not alone. Bat is a graphite black polish filled with purple shimmer and linear holographic elements. Now, for those who may need that extra info, linear holo is the type of holo that produces a rainbow-like effect because the light reflects in such a way that the colors are lined up one against the other, just like a rainbow would. Here we have the end result where even though there's a lack of strong direct light, there is no denying what this polish is bringing to the table. You can clearly see a linear holo effect, but if I turn on a strong direct light source, that's where the linear holo comes alive. This is the habitat where Bat thrives in and offers up the very best of itself. I'll be honest, I've never really been a fan of a linear holo, but this one's planted a little tiny seed in me. Let's see what our next haunted house tour clue is. It's Undead. As soon as you step inside this abandoned home, you can't help but feel enveloped by something other than the dust-filled air. The house is abandoned, but the walls have sealed in the energy and even the memories of its history. So with Undead at our fingertips, we have what is my favorite of this collection, a stunning black to blue thermal with pink shimmer, which I'm obsessed with, you guys, especially in the cold state because those pink shimmers are iconic against that darkened base. I honestly can't come up with enough words to tell you how disturbingly and hauntingly beautiful I find this polish to be in its cold state. But let's move on to some water activity so that we can see the shifts. Dipping my finger into hot water turns this polish into spring. We went from being haunted to hunting eggs in March. It is so wild to get both of these looks at once, and I knew this polish would transition into blue, but it still surprised me because I was in my gothic era and then I was forcibly thrusted into pastel Halloween. So this is quite a dramatic shift, but if you think about it, it perfectly embodies the name of the polish, Undead. It basically ping-pongs you from the death vibes of the fall season to the blooming energy of spring, so hang tight. Back to our trusty guide, Pumpkin Guy, who has our next polish, which is Velvet Dream. Walking beyond the abandoned entry and deeper into the house, your eyes begin to adjust to the darkness and you slowly notice the towering walls dressed in heavy velvet drapes that smell of dampness and dust. So with Velvet Dream, we get an old money green color in a shimmery finish. Now, the first coat comes off noticeably sheer, but Notice how you fall right into the embrace of a velvety dream once that second coat starts layering up on the nail. The end result is really simple and unbothered because it doesn't have any additional elements, which just allows this very fall appropriate color to come through. It does have a velvety overall look in the end result. Let's pick out our next polish and the next part of the story. We got an Apparition. What was that? I thought we always believed in the supernatural, but all of a sudden, now that we're in here, ghosts can't be real. I mean, do we trust our eyes or do we trust our minds? With Apparition, we get a semi-sheer polish that has a white color-shifting shimmer that changes between green and pink tones. Now, because this polish is so sheer, I am going for a total of 3 coats just to make sure I am pushing it to the max and getting the most out of it. But at the same time, keep in mind that these polishes that land high on the sheerness scale could have a double use as a topper as well. And now that we've built this up a little bit more, I can finally talk about a little hollow apparition that I think was lightly sprinkled into the mix here. It is extremely subtle though. Take a look at this alternate clip. It's only once you're in indirect lighting that the pink shift comes out to play. And also, if anyone is curious, I did test to see if this polish glows in the dark, but it doesn't. Guys, it's getting a little too spooky in there, so let's check back with Pumpkin Guy, and it looks like we pulled our giveaway treat. So if you would like a chance to win the entire Forgotten collection, here are the rules. Make sure to follow Sylvanclaw and I on Instagram, subscribe to this channel, and leave a comment down below with your favorite part of this abandoned house tour. The giveaway ends on the collection launch day, which is October 17th, and on that day, I'll reach out to one lucky winner via Instagram DM. Good luck to everyone, and thank you to Sylvanclaw for this spooky giveaway. Alright, are we ready for more exploring? Because next up we have Ashes to Dust. Cozied up between the towering walls covered in those velvety drapes, we come across a grand decaying fireplace that still homes ashes of fires that were once a source of warmth. So with Ashes to Dust, we have a magnetic formula. It's described as a gray crelly with fiery iridescent flakes that have a red glow to them. And if you're noticing a golden glow, that is the magnetic pigment. And this here is the unmagnetized result. Personally, I can't register any grayness here. This polish looks very brown in my opinion. So moving on to the lightsaber effect, where the golden magnetic pigment gathers up in a line and you're left with that very cozy warm toned brown in the background, accompanied by those fiery flakies, where again, no gray tones are visible, at least to me. And finally, the velvet effect, where that golden magnetic pigment blankets itself over that brown base and also the flakies, creating this soft cast of golden glow. And as you angle the nail, you get views of the brown and the fiery flakies resting beneath it. Now, even though I avoid brown tones, I know that you brown lovers out there are likely gonna need this one. Let's go back in here to reveal the next part of the story. We have Wilted Rose. After exploring the fireplace, we make our way through the room and notice an opening. It's a long corridor leading to bedrooms and studies. The corridor walls dressed in mirrors, ornate frames. There's even a grandfather clock. but it's what's at the very end of the corridor that catches our attention. There's a moonlit window right above a table on which one singular wilted rose was left behind. With Wilted Rose, we get another thermal. This one is starting off in its cold state, which is a red color with some pinky notes. And when warm, it shifts to a purple color. Now, you might also be noticing that pink shimmer that we have in there as a special effects element. Dipping my finger into hot water seems to turn this polish into somewhat of a periwinkle color that slowly turns into more of a purple color as it gets colder. So it's almost like it has a very obvious transition color from periwinkle to purple to then red, which you can see when I leave my nail alone for a bit. This is not officially described as a trithermal, so I wouldn't label it as that, but just be prepared to likely see an extra color there if you're running really hot, because that's another thing you should keep in mind. Your body temperature should never be running as hot as my water was, so you're likely going to mainly see the purple at body temperature. And now that we have explored this corridor, let's leave the rose behind and try to make our way out of this place. Meeting back up with our guide who knows the way out of here, and now we have Timeless. We set aside the rose and start walking back through the dimly lit corridor, and we peek through the cracked doors and notice those timeless bronze accents decorating the rooms, ornately sculptured frames around old yellowing pictures of peeling faces that were left to disintegrate on walls and also on side tables. These are our last memories before we leave this place forever. Here we have a formula filled with bronze metallic microflakes. It does have fair coverage on the first coat, but I really recommend at least a second if you truly want to honor these dusty, ornate pieces of old forgotten decor. It definitely has a lot of that orange warmth that you would expect from this type of color. So if you enjoy these antique, metallic, timeless type of tones, I think you're gonna be really happy with this one. And that wraps up our spooky story time swatch sesh, whatever that was. So let's talk about the good, the Brad, and the Prugly, which honestly, I don't think I have any Brads or Pruglies. I was thinking hard about something I could possibly complain about this collection, but I came up with nothing. I think Sylvanclaw did a great job here with this abandoned structure theme. There are so many ways you can go about that idea. You can turn this color palette into something Prugly, into something more classical, into something dark and moody, right? Because of the environment of abandoned structures, there's just so much that you can grab from that idea. I mean, they gave us an abundance of finishes. We got a thermal, we got a metallic with timeless, we got a linear hollow with a bat, which honestly surprised me. I didn't think I'd like this one as much as I do, but we also got 2 thermals and 2 shimmery types of finishes. So this was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to swatch, and it was a lot of fun to edit and make this video too. So to anyone who decided to enter the giveaway, good luck, and thank you to Sylvanclaw for making this happen. Remember that I'm going to be reaching out to one lucky winner on the launch day of this collection, which is October 17th. And before I go, if you have money for just one polish, I would go with Bat. If you have money for 2, I would add Timeless to the list. If you had money for 3, I would add Undead. So those are my top 3 favorites from this collection. And with that, I think we can go ahead and wrap up this sesh. So thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you had a good time and that maybe you got a little bit spooked here and there. Have a great evening, a great day, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.